Hello, today I'm going to talk about Plasmodium falciparum, the causative agent of malaria. So what is Plasmodium falciparum? Plasmodium falciparum is an unicellular protozoan parasite that causes malaria in humans. It is transmitted to the human body by the bite of an infected female Anopheles mosquito. Among the other species of Plasmodium, the species falciparum causes the deadliest form of malaria and is responsible for almost 50% of the malaria cases worldwide. So what are the characteristics of falciparum? Taxonomically, Plasmodium falciparum is located within phyla, Sporozoa, or Apicomplexa because it can form spores in its life cycle and also has a shape that we call apical complex. An interesting fact about Plasmodium falciparum is that it can reproduce both sexually and asexually depending on the host. In humans, it reproduces asexually. Another way to differentiate this pathogen from other species is by looking at its cytoplasm in different stages of development. When it is in the trophozoid form, the cytoplasm is delicate and has two color points, which we call hemozoin, but the gametocyte phase cytoplasm is shaped like rod. The pathogenesis of Plasmodium falciparum. When an infected female Anopheles mosquito bites a healthy human being, the sporozoids of the Plasmodium falciparum enters the host body. Sporozoids infect the liver cells where it matures into schizones and the rupture as merozoites, which enter the erythrocytes, the red blood cells. Once found in appropriate red blood cells, these merozoites use the apical complex to reorient to the best position to adhere and enter the red blood cells. Merozoites create a protein complex made of protein P113 and protein Rh5 created by the merozoite to bind to the surface receptor of the red blood cell membrane. Inside the cell, merozoite matures into trophozoite, a feeding and growing stage of the pathogen. Trophozoite breaks down the hemoglobin to heme and hematine to form hemozoin, and which gives them the pigmentation. Parasite uses the hemozoin to make essential amino acid for the replication. Mature trophozoites are called schizont. As schizont matures, the red blood cell eventually bursts, leading to fever and chills. Plasmodium falciparum works via sequestration, a process by which a group of infected red blood cells are clustered, which is non-exhibited by any other species of malarial parasite. The mature schizonts change the surface properties of the infected erythrocytes, causing them to stick to the blood vessel wall, which is also known as the cytoadherence. This leads to the obstruction of the microcirculation and result of dysfunction of multiple organs such as the brain in cerebral malaria. Once Plasmodium falciparum is in the blood stage in human host, it causes fever, chills accompanied by headaches, muscle ache, weakness, vomiting, and diarrhea. Malaria caused by the Plasmodium falciparum is the deadliest form of malaria because it can progress to central nervous system and cause cerebral malaria. It can also lead to renal failure, anemia, acute respiratory distress syndrome. So that is the brief description about the characteristics and pathogenesis of Plasmodium falciparum.